mountain thunders standing in my way. I must try to figure it out anyway.
Hey friends, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. We're starting off today's video with some thrifting. If you'd rather jump right into the decorating, I will put a timestamp on for you. And I think I'll start off with this question, and that is, do you think that thrifting is going to become obsolete in the near future? More about that in a bit. I wanted to point out the flaw in this basket. I liked it. I really liked the shape of it, but $55 seemed a little crazy to me. Now, mind you, a lot of these items that I'm showing you here in the beginning were on consignment, so you do expect them to be a little more pricey. But I feel like because of the outrageous prices that are hitting the thrift stores now, people are not looking to thrift stores for a first resort. They're looking to Marketplace for used items, especially on certain things. So now I'm going to give you a tip, and I've never heard anybody else talk about it before. It has to do with finding the most reasonably priced thrift stores. And in my experience, I look for the thrift stores where most, if not all of the workers are volunteers. And I have some theories about why these tend to be the cheapest places. For one, they obviously don't have to pay an employee wage, but maybe more likely is that a volunteer is already in the mindset of wanting to give back to their community, and when they're pricing items, that generosity is probably going to carry over. Now, please don't misunderstand me. People deserve a wage. Even the Bible says a worker is worth their wages. But what I'm driving at is that I usually find the best deals at thrift stores run by volunteers. And that's my theory as to why. So I hope it's helpful for you. This vase was pricey, but it looks like a reactive glazed piece, which intrigued me. I'm always looking for little candy dishes like this, especially for my coffee bar. Had I been paying closer attention, I would have realized that the green tags were 75% off that week, and I would have grabbed it. So don't be like me. Be sure and check those color tag sales. This white bowl looked unique. I probably would have grabbed it if there would have been two for stacking. And then these candle holders look like something I could maybe make over with a DIY. But that was the price for each of them, so I passed. This thrifting portion will be over in just a few seconds. In fact, this is the last piece I'm showing you. I was really startled at that price, and I'm not trying to pick on any particular store, but you can see that that item is not on consignment. They actually received that for free. So I'm all done griping about prices today. Thank you for bearing with me. And we're back in my kitchen. I have everything ready to be decorated. Here's how it looks beforehand. I always like to do a before. And if you don't know already, this is technically my second fall kitchen video. And you will see here that I kept up a picture. I put that up during the first fall kitchen video, and so there it remains. But I'm changing everything else around it. And as usual, I'll also be decorating this area above my refrigerator and pantry. You may remember this tray for $10 from the thrifting portion of the video. I turned it over and it said Hobby Lobby on the bottom, if you've ever heard of that store. That's my favorite store, by the way. I picked up that vase as well as these fall stems from a decor store that's local to me. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a little vignette on this tray for my kitchen island table. It's kind of both. I like the idea of putting it in a tray so that it can easily be moved when we want to eat here. Now I'm bringing in the Studio Mickey candle, which you might remember from my first kitchen video. I had it on my open shelves. So the first idea I had was to keep this tray really simple, and I was just going to borrow the gold snuffer from my living room, just like this. And I do like it this way. However, I found these really beautiful reactive glazed bowls. Here I'm trying to get the tag off, and it didn't really work at that moment, but these are from a company called Sugar Boo. Now, this is not a sponsored video at all, but I really love how these look. I bought 3 of them, but I felt it looked better with just 2. I thought it was too tall with 3. And then in order to fit everything inside the tray, I just added my smaller gold snuffer. At some point, I might touch up the paint on this tray in some areas, but this is how it turned out. And in just a second, we'll move over to our coffee bar area. Although my kitchen isn't big enough for its own coffee bar area, I think it works really well over here on the counter. And I'm going to be starting off with this, I guess you'd call this a tiered tray. I don't think of it as that, but I guess you could call it that. And this will be a focal point for my coffee bar. And because it's fall, of course, we can't forget our pumpkin spice flavors. And I'm also going to put my tea on the bottom. We English have to have our tea. And a little special touch for fall, I have to add in my gold leaf spoons. I believe these were from Amazon. I'll try to find you a link for those too. I have been trying to stay away from sugar, especially things with dyes, and I've been doing a pretty good job of it. But I do love candy corn. I don't know why it gets such a bad rap. I like it, but I've heard not a lot of people do, so maybe I'm just one of the weirdos. Either way, I do like to use candy to kind of dress up my coffee bar. The lemon slices are for the tea. And I'm still using my glass pumpkin for my coffee grounds, just like I did in my first fall kitchen video. I am adding this cute little glass pumpkin dish that is from Hobby Lobby and some Hershey's Nuggets. These have almonds in them, which kind of makes them healthy, at least that's what I tell my husband. And I do detect just a tiny bit of maybe a toffee flavor, but I could be totally imagining that. I figured I should have my pumpkin charcuterie board handy just in case the inspiration hits me. You may remember this basket from my dining room video. Now I'm borrowing it to put here for a couple of reasons. Well, one, because I like how it looks here, but also because I'm starting to think more realistically about how I want my Thanksgiving table to look. And although I love a fully decorated, loaded down table, it's not always practical. So I have a more minimal tablescape in mind that hopefully I'll have time to share with you yet this year. If you've been following me, you know that I like anything that trails when it comes to greenery or florals. And you may remember that basket from the beginning portion of this video where I was thrifting. That basket has such a unique shape and it was only $3. I think it looks really pretty with the trailing hops, and I gave it a little height with the cookbook. That was a Thrifted cookbook, by the way. Carry emotions. Quick disclaimer here, I'm not going to actually light these candles because they are definitely too close to the ceiling, but I still think they look pretty here. It's not getting you closer to where you wanna be in your life, the weight on your shoulders. And because we're getting closer to Thanksgiving, I have to add this sweet little turkey too. So he's gonna go and sit right up here on the shelf and wait for Thanksgiving. Changes to make now. See the light at the end of the tunnel. I do love the smell of these cinnamon apple donut candles. I've showed them quite a few times on my channel, but again, it's going to be too close to the ceiling, so I'm using a flameless tea light, so I'll have the ambiance without the fire hazard. Next, I'm bringing in this antique crock, and if you follow my channel, you've probably seen this many times because I love to use it over and over again, and I wanted to use it for these wood utensils, but as you can see, it's really not working out very well that way. So I'm going to insert this inside to kind of hold the wooden utensils in place, and you can see what a difference that makes. And right here, I'll speed the camera up for you so you don't have to watch me fuss for quite so long. You're in control here, don't you forget. You fall and you break, you got battles to take on, but you figure it out, yeah. Although this Hobby Lobby cutting board has pumpkins on it, they're on the wrong side to work for me this time, so I'm going to flip them to the back. All the way, baby, get up. No, don't you stay down. And then you may remember this black bowl, again from the thrifting portion in the beginning of this video. I thought it would be a nice bowl to hold my decorative pear. And then because I'm always about balance, to balance the larger white velvet pumpkin on the top, I added those two smaller velvet pumpkins on the bottom. And then also, for balance, I'm adding some of those trailing hops to the lower shelf. So I was looking at it so far and I realized I wasn't done yet with the balance. So go ahead and laugh at me, but I had to add some gold to the lower shelf. So I added that gold candle snuffer, and I know there's not a candle on the lower shelf, but it needed some gold. So now I'm content. Per usual, I'm giving you an overview of how these open shelves and the coffee bar area turned out, and then we'll move over to decorating the left side of the sink and the rest of my kitchen.
Get up. Oh, don't you stay down. Go and lift yourself up. Baby, baby, get.
If you can cover your switch plates, it looks better, but it's not always practical. So I have that switch plate partly exposed because I need to use that left switch. And then I'm bringing in this arrangement. Believe it or not, I dug those burnt orange flowers out of my garage. They've been used in the past for my outdoor window boxes in fall, but they look pretty good, don't they? And then I added in some of those blueberry stems from Hobby Lobby. This pedestal bowl is from Amazon Creative Co-op, and I'm just adding my faux apples. I probably could have gone out to the pear tree and got some pears, which would have probably looked nicer. But our pears never really get soft enough for us to eat, and they do draw the deer. And you know how much I like to watch my deer friends from the window. And it does seem like they're getting more and more comfortable with us because they keep coming closer to the house. In fact, I got this video just 2 days ago. I'll kind of zoom out so you can see where she is in proximity to my house. That's my patio room on the left, so maybe 15 feet from her. We have had 3 does living on our property since early spring, maybe more, but 3 that we know of, and 2 fawns. I'm thinking that maybe 1 doe didn't give birth, or maybe something happened. We don't really know, but it's been really fun to watch them. Moving on to the counter on the left side of the stove, we're starting with the riser as a base and a cutting board. And then I'm bringing in this Walmart vase with some more wood utensils for next to the stove. And you may recognize this vase if you watch the thrifting portion in the front of this video. I did find a use for it, and I was looking for a vase that size, and I thought it was kind of nice to have something different than white or black. Plus, I thought the caramel color would be perfect for fall. Then I added in the gold grinders and my friendly little squirrel. Now, I really liked the texture on this pumpkin, so I wanted to try it right here, but I wasn't sure about it there. So then I pulled out this berry bowl, which I really thought complemented my new vase really well. So in the end, the berry bowl won out, at least for right here, but I was still looking for a place to put my pumpkin. As you can see, I put some faux figs in the berry bowl and the pumpkin next to the riser, but I do change my mind later about that. The lamp is from Walmart, and it has this long cord that's kind of in the way, so I thought I would just hide it behind this tray, this pumpkin tray from the at-home store, and I'm going to use a rechargeable bulb in the lantern, or in the lamp, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to add 1 more of those little velvet pumpkins like I have on my open shelves. I decided this was just a little too busy, so I gave up on the idea. There's just this balance, you know, between just enough decor and too much, and I always have to watch myself. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. I was losing daylight really fast with it getting dark sooner, so I went ahead and decorated this off camera, and it's a really difficult area to decorate with a camera anyway because it is so high up. And I will give this disclaimer like I always do. This is the area of my kitchen that isn't real trendy, but I have a lot of fun with it. So I hope you like how I decorated it for fall. In about 35 seconds, I will wrap this video up face to face, but I wanted to take just a moment and say a special thank you to all of my viewers and subscribers. I'm getting really close to that 5,000 subscriber mark, so thank you for making that possible. I know 5,000 is still small in the world of YouTube, but to me, it feels like a huge accomplishment. I would imagine by Christmas I'll get to my 5, but we'll see. Lord willing, right? So as we get closer to Thanksgiving, I might do a dining room Thanksgiving preparation video. There are a few things I'm going to be changing out in my dining room for the actual Thanksgiving feast. I do want some decor on the table, but not so much that it's impractical. So I have some ideas for that, and I did buy a really big decorative turkey. So I thought that would be a nice centerpiece, and then I would just kind of build around that. I think somebody wants to join us. Come here, Sheety Greedy. Hi. You want to say hi? Come here, sweetie. Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Look, Sheety Greedy. He just wants to be on my lap. And then we have Christmas coming right around the corner. So that's really exciting as well. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel and you're interested in all things home decor, I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. That's all I have for you today. Thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, stay thankful.